What's up, guys? This is a new weekly update video on my journey from 0 to 10K a month with an AI automation agency. And these weekly update videos are simply videos where I share the results that I got last week and I strategize the next week, okay? And I also bring some topics here for the videos to provide some value to you guys and, I don't know, just talk about things that I like, right? So basically, I've been on this AI automation agency journey for 2 years now. Okay, so I'm not just starting out right now. I've been in the space for 2 years, and I've made like $8,000. $8,000 in 2 years, which is like nothing, right? But I'm now at around $1,000 per month, and I just closed the retainer. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that in this video. So yeah, I just closed a retainer, but I'm making around $1,000 a month now, which is obviously not close to the 10K mark, but I'm sure that next year I'm probably going to be there with the plans that I have and future projects. So let's go over what happened this week and then talk about also other topics and strategize next week. So this right here is a whiteboard where I basically write down here what happened the week and then the plans for the next week. So you can see right here, this one is a little bit bigger because it was my first video on the channel, and I'm basically explaining a little bit about my journey here in the beginning and where I am in the objective to hit the 10K mark, right? So, and this was the last video that I did. And basically what I wrote for this week plans was to wrap up the deliverable for the $490 project, get that client on a retainer. So basically, just to give you guys some context, I closed the project for $490 for this client. And I have been working with him for a couple of months now, and I wanna put him on a retainer because it's way more sustainable for me and it's just better, right? For me and for him as well. So I said that I wanted to get the client on a retainer, and I said the plan. Also, another plan was to keep building the content agency OS and make it super powerful. So I'm basically building a product or a service, you can say, called Content Agency OS. I believe it's going to be the name moving forward, but yeah, this is the name because I'm targeting YouTube content agencies. So I'm basically building a product that I will then sell to those agencies. And my client on this project and on this retainer is also a content agency owner. So just to give you guys some context. Keep learning how content agencies operate. So because I'm targeting content agencies, I need to learn a lot about how they operate, right? If you are going to target a specific if you are going to target a specific customer profile, you need to learn how they operate and what the pain points that they have so that you can solve them, right? So you need to deeply understand your target audience, your potential client, etc. So keep learning about that and make a video for the content agency owners community. So I'm a part of a content agency owners community, and I basically want to post content there to show my expertise and provide value so that the members then reach out to me to work with me, right? So one of the plans was to make a video on that community. So let's see if I actually did all of these things, right? So what happened this week about that main client? I did wrap up the $490 project, and I pitched a 2.5K month retainer. Okay, and the client came back with, sorry, why is this? Okay, and the client came back with a 2.2K a month for the next 3 months guaranteed. Okay, so I pitched the 2.5K. The client came back with 2.2K for the next 3 months. All right, so we're going to sign an agreement, and for the next 3 months, I'm going to work for him, building a bunch of content systems, a bunch of custom work, right? Which is something that I don't want to do in the future, but because this is like my first content agency client, I want to do a bunch of custom work to learn and also, get some money, right? So, but because I'm building with him so much systems, I'm also learning a lot on the process as well. So I want to keep working with him, and I just closed him on this retainer because for the last couple of months we have been working on one-off projects. So he would send me a message saying like, hey, can you build this, or and then I would say, yes, this is the timeline, this is the pricing, and it would be always a one-off project. And he already paid me a couple thousand dollars, probably like $4,000 at this point, to build a bunch of systems. But I said that I can't continue to do that with one-off projects. Let's get on a retainer because it's much more sustainable. And because, for example, let's say that I wrap up a project for $500, right? And in a month, the client has feedback and wants to make changes to that project. That project was already completed. I can't make changes for free, right? So he would have to pay me another setup or something to go ahead and go to that project and update it, right? So if he's on a retainer, he basically gets unlimited projects, unlimited revisions and feedback and all that great stuff. So I pitched that, and I said that he didn't need to pay this number if he accepted the retainer. Okay. Maybe I should have just gotten the money and then pitched the retainer, but I basically pitched the retainer. And one of the strategies to convince him to get on a retainer was that he didn't need to pay the money that he owed me. There's a motorcycle on the road making a lot of noise here, but yeah, that's one of the strategies to get this client on retainer. But yeah, so I basically didn't get this money, but I did get the client on this retainer. You know what I'm saying? So I said, you do not need to pay me the $490 if you join on the retainer right now. Okay. Yeah. So we are signing the agreement, and he's gonna pay probably like Monday or Tuesday. Okay. So that's fucking awesome. Yeah, let's see what I have here. So I had to start registering myself as a freelancer here in Portugal for tax purposes. So up until this point, I got payments without any sort of taxes set it up. So yeah, but now that the client's going to pay me this retainer, he asked me if I had an LLC for the company. I don't have one. So the most straightforward option right now to get this client on this retainer and get the money is to register myself as a freelancer instead of creating a company and LLC and all that stuff. So I started that process of registering myself as a freelancer because I'm 18 years old. I can do that. Maybe I could have done that earlier. I don't know. But yeah, so that's for the main client that I have, which is probably the only client that I have. Is the only content agency client that I have. The other client that I have is on a completely different niche, and we have an AI voice agent and a AI chatbot running in the. I have that running for him on a small retainer as well. Cool. So Content Agency OS. So this is the product that I'm building. What I did was build out the post-production video workflow, and things are starting to come together nicely, which is awesome. The system is looking good. I can actually show you a little bit of the system. So Content Agency OS right here. So the objective here is to run the whole content agency business on this Airtable base. Okay, so everything right here. So everything for outreach, getting more clients, everything for team members, everything for hiring, everything SOPs, everything for delivering the videos, pre-production, post-production, and also have interfaces. So it's like dashboards. Have dashboards where the clients, the team members, the creative directors, the agency owner, they all have their own dashboards and interfaces where they can see the numbers, they can see what's happening, they can see everything and manage everything. So it's a hell of a system. Now, it's my opinion. I believe it's a hell of a system, right? But you see all over the world, a new startup comes up. They believe that it's a crazy product that they are building, all that stuff, but then they go to the market and nobody wants that, right? And I want to make sure that the time that I'm putting in building this system is not wasted. So basically, I need to make sure that the market really wants this. So I basically started DMing and doing market research. So I started DMing ideal clients and asking what tools they use to manage their team, their client work, etc. I've already been exploring how content agencies operate, and from what I've saw from a guy that coaches content agencies, and he has his own 100k plus content agency. That guy used Trello at the beginning to manage everything, and then switched up to Airtable, and I copied some stuff for him to start building this content agency OS. So he uses Airtable. That's cool. I'm building my own system on Airtable, and I'm basically using a bunch of stuff that he uses for his own agency and that he used to scale up to 100k plus. But I'm building a way better system. So I believe that the market wants this. But I sent 6 cold DMs to ideal clients asking how they do this, how they manage everything, right? Because I'm building basically a system to manage the whole content agency. So I want to know right now what content agencies are using to manage their stuff, right? I'm sure my system is better than anything that they are using right now. But I just want to make sure, and I just want to research what the market is doing, right? So that's basically what happened this week. This is a picture of myself here. So sometimes I bring pictures for these videos. So this is me building. So this is this right here is a content repurposing system. It's actually more complex than this now. It's actually pretty simple, but yeah, this is me building for this client right here, for the main client. So yeah, cool. Before we go to the plans for the next week, I want to cover, so these are the DMs that I'm sending to the guys to do market research. So these are the DMs. What's up? Quick question. What tool do you use to manage your team and client work? Trello, Notion, Airtable, something else? And is it scalable as your agency grows? I appreciate your time. Just doing some market research. Now, is this a good cold DM? I don't know. I just wrote it down in like 15 minutes. So yeah, let me know, guys, on the comments. I don't get a lot of views, so probably nobody will comment. But yeah, this is the DM that I'm sending. You can see another one right here. Name, quick question. What tool do you use to manage your team and client work? Blah, blah. Here's a watermelon for your time. Just doing some market research. I don't even love watermelons. It's just like to be different, I guess. Let's see if these 6, if I get a reply on at least like, I would love to get a reply, like 2 replies. 2 replies would be cool. Yeah, so that's that. I want to talk about something that is the plateau of latent potential. So I believe this is something from the book Atomic Habits, I believe. And I want to bring this to you guys because I've been in this space for 2 years now, right? 2 years, and I closed my first like 4-figure. I know I haven't actually got the money, but I'm sure we will close the deal, like 99% sure. So basically 2 years to finally get a 2.2K a month retainer client, right? So in the first 8 months, if you guys didn't watch my first video, the first 8 months I did $0. Then I got my first client Okay. And then 10 months later, I signed my second client, which is this one that I'm working right now. So I've made 8,000 and something dollars at the moment in 2 years, right? And you see all over the internet way better results than this, right? So me, what I thought, what I think should have happened was something like this. Sorry, something like this, right? It's like client, 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 boom, make some money, get results in a linear way. But this is what actually happens, right? So you start off with bad progress, making, so it's like these first things are like my 8 months, right? And then, so I got my first client right here, and then 10 months to get my second client, and it just goes like this, right? So another carbo, it breaks my thought process here. So what I want to say is, this is what you think should happen, and this is what actually happens. And this in the middle, let me just hide the UI for a second. And this in the middle is the valley of disappointment. Okay, this is very interesting. So basically, right here on this point, right here, you are on your journey for 1 year now, right? You have been working hard for 1 year, and you are making, so this right here, the y axis is the results, right? So let's say that you are making right here, you are making 1K, right? You are making 1K in 1 year, right? That's what's actually happening right now, right? But you thought that in 1 year you would be making 5K. You thought that in 1 year you'd be making 5K. So this gap right here is the valley of disappointment. You are disappointed, right? So when you start your journey, there is zero disappointment right here. But as you go and you start figuring things out on your own, landing clients, losing clients, wasting time on bullshit, building something that nobody wants, the disappointment increases. Even if you are getting a couple of results right here, right? Here, you still have results. You are not at zero, right? You are not at zero, but you thought that you would be already at 10K a month, right? But you are only at 2K a month. So there is this valley of disappointment. But you can't get trapped to this, and you can't give up because of this big valley and big disappointment gap, right? You can't get lost on that, and you gotta keep going, because eventually the disappointment will decrease until you cross that. I don't know, this could be 10K a month, right? So you cross your goal and you are no longer disappointed on your results, I guess you can say that. So this is basically to show that this is what actually happens, right? So at the beginning, you are nothing, you are doing zero, you are working on stuff that doesn't matter, you are wasting time, you are figuring things out, you are, shooting in the dark. But those actions and those daily actions and you putting in the work, it compounds, and you get better, your skills improve, everything gets better, and then it's kind of like exponential. It's exponential, and everything compounds, and it just goes up and up and up like crazy. But the hard part is the beginning, right? So I believe that's what's happening with me right now. So 2 years of hard work at the moment, and the results are bad, right? The results are low, but I don't get too attached to it. I just keep going, because I know that eventually things will start compounding, and things will get will go way higher than it is right now, and it's gonna exponentially grow. Obviously, with business is what it is. So you're going to go up and then it's going to go down and then up and then it's going to plateau and then down and then up. And in 10 years, you finally stabilize the business and it's just going up like linear, right? But right now, this is how it works. And yeah, um, just some thoughts about this. So don't get too attached to the other people's results. You see all the time, like this guy started the AI automation agency in 2 months and he's already making 10K a month, right? But there's, first of all, if he actually started 2 months ago from zero, from scratch, without knowing anything, and he's now at 10K a month, he's a 0.00001% guy, right? But usually they probably got those results in 2 months, but they already have previous experiences. They already ran some businesses, they got experience, so it was easier for them. So there's a lot of variables in the background that we don't see. So don't get too attached to other people's results, because if you do that, you think that should have happened to you as well. So the disappointment is going to be big, and you may end up just giving up, right? Instead of continuing and then thriving and getting the results that you deserve. So keep going, even if you are probably not even getting worse results than me. Like, it's like 2 years now and I've made $8,000. Like, well, I don't know if those results are bad or not. I don't even think too much about it. I just keep going, and I got the goal to hit 10K a month next year. So just gotta keep going. And yeah, because first year, first months, you're just figuring things out, and don't think that you're gonna land a bunch of clients at the starting point. And just keep going, and because this is what actually happened, right? Cool. I think you guys understood what I wanted to say. Maybe I talked too much about this, but yeah. Okay, final thing I want to talk about before we go to the plans for next week is show you guys the business expenses. So I think it's kind of cool. So let's go over here to my business expenses. So this is a sheet that I started when I started my AI automation agency. So once I started wasting money, not wasting, but spending money on platforms to learn them and move my business from the ground, I created this sheet, which is not very scalable, because instead of using multiple sheets, I'm using like tables like this, which is kind of stupid, but this is how it looks like. And I just want to show you that in 2 years, the expenses that I have. So business expenses, right? It's not food nor none of that, but it's just business expenses. So you can see right here, the total money I have used is almost 900 euros. Okay, so in 2 years, I've made 8K in revenue, not profit. And I have invested into the business 900 euros. Okay, this is the current monthly expenses that I have, 28 bucks. Current yearly expenses, total one-time expenses, and investments. Okay, you can see right here I have purchased like 13 months of Make.com. Make.com is an automation platform that I use a lot. So Make.com right here. I use a lot of this, and it's also the platform right here where I'm building this system. Okay, so yeah, I've purchased a lot of Make.com. That's the thing that I've purchased more. Instantly AI, I paid 2 months for doing cold outreach. Skype, I tried to make some cold calling to gym owners. So when you're starting out, you just do things that I was trying to sell AI chatbots to gym owners. It's just like, now that you look back to it, it's just like, it was just cringe and not even a valuable service. So, but yeah, that's how you start things out, and you get it rolling. So Yeah, I paid for Skype for to do some cold calling, warm up inbox to warm up some inboxes for cold emails. Maker School. So this is a community that I paid for my brother actually to learn some AI automation skills. Airtable paid 1 month. AI voice agents. Twilio for AI voice agents as well. ManyChat paid 3 months of ManyChat to build some cool stuff. OpenAI, ChatGPT Plus, video recording. So Telo.tv is the screen recorder that I use. Is it? I think this is not focused. Is it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Telo.tv, and then one-time expenses. So Cloud Convert credits. This is for a system. Domain. I bought a domain here. Cloud credits. Email plan on Zoho. Email verifier and error bounce. What else? Skype credits for cold calling. Google email plan. So workspace on Google. 11 Labs plan. Twilio balance. VEP AI credits for AI voice agents. ManyChat wallet. OpenAI tokens. Retail AI usage, 100 euros now, but the client pays a retainer, so that's cool. Airtable plan with credit discount. Yeah, okay. And then yearly expenses. So I pay for Dashlane. This is not very like business thing. It's just like my password manager. So ancienti.agency domain. And then I bought 3 domains as well. This was when I was trying to build a business with one of my friends, but he ended up giving up, I guess. So we bought 3 domains for cold email, scalingonlinecoaches.com, which is a cool name, to be honest. But since I'm not targeting coaches, I kind of am, but whatever. I don't even have a website at the moment. So I also bought another domain called Scaling with AI Systems. Investments, I paid for low tickets from Ravi Abuvala, and I bought this microphone that I'm using right now for $34. So those are all the expenses in 2 years when it comes to business expenses. So that's a total of 900 euros. And yeah, you can get these promo codes as well if you want. I don't know if they are valid right now, but yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys. I thought it would be interesting, I guess. So let's now go over to the plans for the next week. So I want to find more leads to the AM. So I got my CRM and I have a couple of leads there, but I just pretty much ran out of them to reach out to them, right? So I sent 6 cold DMs, but I obviously need to send more to do more market research and also get more leads to then reach out to actually sell them or whatever, right? So I need to find more leads. So probably I'm going to use LinkedIn, search more people, and then add those leads to my CRM. Okay, drop a video in a content agency owners community. So last week I had a plan to make a video for the content agency owners community, but I didn't do that. So the plan is to do that this week, showing off the content agency OS. So this system that I'm building right here. So I want to show the post-production video workflow and make a video about it and post that on the community to see what the guys have to say about that. Keep things moving with the retainer client. Obviously, now that he's on a retainer, there's a bunch of projects that we're gonna work on, and gotta deliver those, right? And then keep building out the content agency OS, and that's pretty much it. So those are the plans for next week. Do I want to say something else? I don't think so. So that's it, guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some value when I talked about the plateau of vented potential. Basically, keep going, guys, and you will eventually succeed, but you have to work on something that has a return on investment, right? So and make sure that the input that you put in returns a very high output, right? Because if you work on things that do not give you a good output, you are just wasting time. So it's not just about showing up every day, it's showing up every day and working on things that actually move the needle, right? Which is something that actually, let me talk about that. That's something that I have to improve. So right now, I'm pretty much all day just working on client delivery, right? Client delivery, building stuff. It's literally like zero client acquisition, zero outreach, zero client acquisition. These 6 DMs I sent today, and today is Sunday, right? On the whole week, zero like client acquisition tasks completed. And that's a huge mistake. Like how am I going to get to 10K a month if I'm not working on tasks that bring clients, right? I'm just delivering for an existing client. That doesn't make sense. So I sent out these 6 cold DMs today, and next week I want to find more leads, send more DMs, find more leads to DM, drop a video in a agency community. So work more on actual client acquisition tasks. And you guys should do the same. Don't get caught up in service delivery or whatever. Obviously, deliver an amazing system, an amazing service to your client, but do not waste all of your time with that like I'm doing right now. So I want to change that. So that we can scale faster and get to 10K a month faster, right? Okay, guys, so that's it for this video. I just want to give a quick note here. Before you get out of this video, don't forget to plan the next week as well. And I make these videos not because they get views, because they don't, but because I sit down here and I think about what I did last week and the things that I need to improve, and then I plan out the next week. Okay, so strategize, have a plan, and then execute on it. Okay, because if you do not have a plan, you are kind of like moving on nothing, right? So write down what you want to do and complete the tasks. Okay, so that's very important. And also, this is the warm app Google Sheet. I've talked about that on my last video or my first video. I'm not sure, but this is a map where you map out the plans for Q1, for Q2, for Q3, Q4, and you can also add tasks for throughout the months and the days and whatever. And when it comes to task manager, I use Todoist. Okay, so use Todoist to create the tasks that you have to complete, and then you check them as you go. And if you didn't complete the task, you move it to the next day and just go from there. Okay, so strategizing is very important. I'm not moving on something that I don't know. It's like I have a plan. You know what I'm saying? I have a plan. Even if in the future the plan changes, I'm still on the plan, and I still at least know a little bit where I'm going. Right? That's very important. Obviously, things change in the future and throughout the journey, but plan things out at least for the next week, right? Like that's a very simple plan, and then you can then generalize more and plan for Q1, for the quarter, plan for the year, etc. So plan out what you want to do, write it down, execute, and it's just going like that for months and months and months on end, enjoying the process, and then you're going to hit your goals. It's very simple, very straightforward, but hard to execute and to actually do it. Okay, so that's why it's hard to get the results, but it's very simple. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace, and I talk to you guys next week.